John, thank you so much for having us here in this lovely place. I remember when I came back in October 2023, and you expected, when you were first welcoming the visitors, you expected around more than 300,000 visitors in the first year of operations. Did you manage to achieve that?
Well, I'll remind you that the 300,000 is when we complete the first phase of the Red Sea, which is just about there. We're about to open the balance of the first phase. We've probably achieved about 50,000 in a typical year. So this year we'll expect 50,000 visitors because we've only opened up 5 hotels. But watch this space. As we open up Shura, that 300,000 will happen next year.
And what are the nationalities of the visitors?
Well, interestingly enough, we get roughly half of our visitors are Saudis and regional, and then the other 50% are coming from overseas. And we have obviously a lot of Europeans, but we've had people from as far away as Australia, Sao Paulo in Brazil, so a real mix of nationalities that are coming to experience the wonders of the Red Sea, which is consistent with what our original plan was. We expected a 50-50 split, and we're more or less there now.
And John, what is the occupancy rate, the average occupancy rate of the 5 resorts that are operational?
So on average, we're around 40%. That's sort of where we're trending right now. But it's a growing story because as we've opened more resorts, there's been more attention paid to the destination. Shebara in particular has created global attention. And so we're seeing week on week, month on month growth in our visitors and the occupancy.
Would the number be higher if the prices were lower? I mean, some might argue that the prices are too high. Don't get me wrong, the resorts are beautiful. I've visited 2 of them and they're really exceptional and beautiful, but the prices are very high. The starting ticket is around 7,000-8,000 riyal per night. So are you considering offering rooms at a much lower rate?
So we're unashamedly expensive, right? When we compare the product against global benchmarks, it's not expensive. It's comparable to the best of the Maldives resorts and other global benchmarks that one would consider. But, you know, the intention is ultimately to provide a much broader offering to offer to the greatest number of visitors, and the opening of Shura, which is why we're here today, is going to do that. So as we open up the Red Sea Edition where we are today and the many other hotels on Shura, that price point, that average price point will get down into the mid-2000s. And I think that just opens up the addressable markets.
John, let's discuss the residential units. Did you start selling units? And again, where is the demand coming from?
So the answer is yes. We started selling residential. We announced the first of the residential offerings earlier this year. To date, we've sold about $1.5 billion in residential sales, but we have $2 billion in pending deals. So the demand is coming largely from our domestic, the Saudi people, but we're also getting a lot of interest from foreign nationals. And with the recent announcement of the change in the foreign ownership laws, we see that number increasing dramatically.
And what's the average selling price?
So the average selling price on our rate per square meter is around 70,000 SAR per square meter, which is a little bit on the high side. But again, the offering is so unique. If you compare what we offer, it's the best of the best in terms of beachfront properties in a pristine environment and of the highest quality. So I think the demand is there clearly because we're achieving great sales. So I'm very confident in that.
So you're getting revenues now from the sales, from the residential units, and you're getting revenues from operating 5 hotels. What is the total value of your revenues?
So look, by the end of this year, for our first full year of operations with only 5 resorts, we should be in and around 500 million SAR in revenue. And excluding the residential, obviously.
Up until now, you have spent around 42 billion riyal on the Red Sea project alone. How much do you expect to spend more on the project upon completion by 2030?
So I think right now we're in around 120 billion for what we're currently working on, and I think that number will go over well over 200.
This is just for the Red Sea or Red Sea and Amala?
Yeah, both projects.
And speaking of Amala, when do we expect Amala to welcome visitors?
The end of this year. So we got a busy year on our hands. We have 11 resorts here at the Red Sea to open and another 8 resorts at Amala. So between now and the end of the year, and maybe slipping into the beginning, 19 new resorts are going to open, which is pretty remarkable compared to where we are today with 5. So we'll end up with 24 resorts fully open by early next year.
The remaining investment, how would you fund it?
So the investment is a combination of equity from the Public Investment Fund, and we raise conventional debt. You'll be aware of the 14 billion green facility that we achieved back a number of years ago for Red Sea. We're about to secure 6 billion financing for Amala, and we'll tap the capital markets as and when needed. But fundamentally, that's the main capital sources.
And you previously mentioned that you are looking maybe to go public or maybe into even REITs. Is this something that we can see anytime soon?
Well, as I said, our focus today is completing and opening the destination. And so in order to tap the capital markets in a more permanent sense, whether it's a public offering, whether it's the establishment of a REIT, you need to establish a track record of positive cash flow and profit and so on. So the goal right now, open the destination. The next 3 to 4 years will be stabilizing the destination, proving the model and the revenue generating potential of the destination, and then we would consider different types of market offerings. And as we've discussed in the past, the purpose is to either dividend back to our shareholder or recycle the capital so that we can continue to develop more projects within the kingdom and beyond.
Any changes to the original budget of the project?
No, the project.
Any cuts?
No, the project continues to grow, and we will continue to deliver on the original vision.